Hey guys, it's Matt. Welcome back to Midnight Reality. I will go to several headlines, probably at CNN, to demonstrate a few things. This is kind of a continuation of what we did last time, a return to basics. But many of you are struggling. I'm struggling with trying to figure out a reality that has completely and literally broken down. We used to joke about that. Oh, that's a reality breakdown. Did we really mean it 10, 15 years ago? Not really. We didn't really mean it. Oh, that reality's breaking down here. Ha ha ha. It's literally has broken down. Literally. I don't know if this is the same reality that existed in the last century. We ponder a lot of different things. We'll do it probably some other time, not too much here. Did the 7-Eleven job application and its grimoire, as I've joked about, but it's probably literally true. In some way, move reality off to the side. This is not a joke. This reality is not the same as it was in the last century or millennium. I don't know any other way to say it. This reality has literally broken down, at least related to the standards or metrics that we used to gauge what a reality should be. Now, if this scares anybody, let me remind you, this is the best news of all time. If anybody's new here, you may be asking, how could a reality that's broken down be the best news of all time? Absolutely, it is. The old guard's heard this many times. I'll try to be just around a minute to 2 minutes. The more science is right about who you are and what this existence is, the more the academics are right and the universities are right and science and Darwinists and the atheists, the more they're right, or at least the more credibility their side of the argument seems to have, that's the worst case scenario for us. Because evolution from a one-cell, every time, evolution from a one-cell organism or a flagellum or an amoeba or a big bang, that's all, there's no basis whatsoever for the science's explanation of who you are. That is a complete joke. But I'm just saying, if it had merit, if that side of the argument gained more ground and seemed more legitimate as the years go on, that's the worst case scenario for us. Because our death would probably mean the end of existence. We just evolved from monkey man anyway. The more science is right, that's the worst case scenario for us. Okay? But science, their argument is a joke. It's an absolute joke that holds no water. The other side of things, fluid reality. For some of you, Mandela effect, reality breaking down, complete nonsense on the news. Or you just sit back in your lazy boy and say, Uncle Joe and Aunt Ginny, how come you can't see this? This is all a charade. How come nobody can see it? Calgon, take me away. When this it happens, and it's happening, it's been happening hardcore for about 10 years, this is the best news of all time. Fluid reality, reality breakdowns, because obviously you quickly come to the conclusion, this isn't very real. If this isn't very real, then here we go again. Then I see it very clearly. If this is all a big charade and nothing is real and it's fluid here, and then you are a real spiritual being. You stepped in the bowl. You're a spiritual being that's thousands and trillions of times bigger than this place. I quickly come to that conclusion very, very easily. All this reality breaking down, relish in it. It is the best news of all time. Now, I paused and sat here for a minute and thought, I'm probably going to need another example because there's still a small group that hasn't been here very long or maybe see things a little bit differently than I do and say, Matt, I still don't get it. I mean, you look at the news and everything's breaking down and I don't recognize my friends and my family. And how is this the best news of all time? First off, because it's not about you here now. It's about what this experience is in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, it's one trillionth of that. You have to put it into perspective. But here's another a small example before we move on. many times, whether you were in the dream, and the dream is just horrible for whatever reason, not just the math test that you have no idea how to even move one number, move one number around on the sheet. Maybe it's long division. That was real tough for me in elementary school. Whether you realize it's a dream in the dream, or the moment you wake up, or in that weird transition period between being asleep and awake, when weird things happen, like I see all sorts of patterns in my alarm clock in that little weird 1/2 transition period. I haven't seen those patterns for quite a while, but maybe I'll talk about that some other time. But at some point, we've all felt the relief of, oh man, thank blank, blankety blank, that was just a dream. Oh gosh, I didn't really lose my wallet in Tijuana, TJ. Oh, it was just a dream. Oh, thank goodness. We've all done that, whether it be in the dream. Now, why? Because you realize that scenario wasn't real. It didn't affect you. You're not 8 years late on your water bill or whatever it is that was so trying and taxing happening in the damn dream. Oh, same thing with this. Same thing. It's just one layer up. You realize, oh, it's just this. It's just this Earth thing, and this Middle Earth. We'll play the Hobbit if you want. We'll play Bilbo and Frodo Baggins if you want. This Middle Earth thing. Oh, it's not that you like realizing it's a dream, where I see what it really is. This is a joke. Somebody tell a joke. This is an absolute reality breakdown joke. Oh, I'm trillions of times bigger than this place. Okay. Well, that's cool. Thanks a lot. I'll just get through life and we'll move on. It's that simple. It really is. You must be missing. I'm not missing anything, sir. We get back to the reality being like the truck and tractor pull. At what point does it become so ridiculous that everybody should be able to at least question it, if not see right through it? We thought we arrived at that point about 10 years ago. At what point does it become so ridiculous? Now it's Fergie. Fergie's tied into Jeffrey Epstein. Fergie. Epstein knew everybody. He's tied in. I mean, if anything were real, he might know 20 to 25 people whose names you recognize. 25 celebrities or stars or scientists like Bill Nye the Science Guy or whatever, all the other. He might know the Dalai Lama, but then he wouldn't know Richard Gere. It would be like 30 people. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds he's tied into. It's like 1,000 connections at this point if you trace the emails to every name you recognize. And now it's Fergie. Fergie was involved. I mean, at some point, don't you just go, how can this keep happening? It's here. Okay. What if, let's just say it's a year from now or 4 years from now, and there are emails that were suggesting that Epstein had some sort of relationships or ties in with 1.5 billion people. Okay, it's ridiculous. But would people wake up then? See, we're already at that ridiculous threshold. It wouldn't matter if there was a story a few months from now that said he had relations with over 1 billion people. We're already at the most ridiculous point now. I don't think it would matter. Nobody would be able to see it. Nobody in your family would ever come around to it. But then that proves the ship of fools theory, which is the best news of all time, because that can't happen in a real world where most of the population is on some sort of download frequency or resonance. Well, Matt, it could be a technology. It's not that simple. They're just beaming out a broadcast from the Ural Mountains in Russia. No, it's part of the reality breakdown. Okay, it's just people around us, whether they're the real spiritual beings or not, or they're just not ready. They have a lot more lifetimes to do, or more reincarnations, or they're not ready to exit material realities. Their higher self is asleep on a bench somewhere. I don't know. Headline: CNN investigation uncovers details of Sarah Ferguson's association with Jeffrey Epstein. This is from Modern Ghana. I look at Modern Ghana. Does anybody know how to subscribe to that magazine? Fergie says, "You're a legend. Sarah Ferguson's affectionate emails to Epstein. You're a legend." Oh boy. See, this also further reinforces and proves Tony's theory about the sequential incarnation. There's no way that Fergie or Bill Gates, there's no way these things could be the same as you and I are, continuously playing the roles that this screen asks them to play, continuously being put into scenarios and situations. And I mean, just, rewarded on one side, but you can see how much of a slave they are on the other side. We have thousands and thousands of case examples at this point, proving there's something here in this reality with us that is a, in the shadows, organized adversary against us. I call it not milk. You call it something else probably, but it's obvious to us. But then again, to everybody around is that conspiracy. Look at the balloon boy, conspiracy people. They can't see it. It's okay. But okay, Harrison Ford, I'm not putting him up here because he maybe he is a sequential incarnation, a different spiritual entity. But I get the sense that somebody like Harrison Ford is not the same as Lady Gaga, the real demons of this world, the Hillary Rodham Clinton and William Gates of the Melvin Gates Foundation. That is the sequential breed. I believe what Tony said in that respect, that they're different from us. But Harrison Ford still proves not milk. That's why I'm talking about it here. Maybe the same as you and I. Maybe the same as you and I spiritually. But did a deal at some point, got under the dragon's wing. The old legends about doing a deal with the devil. Of course, does it literally mean they sat down at a table with Satan? Or Lord, the devil went down to Georgia with a fiddle contest or something? No, it doesn't literally mean that, but it means that there's a lot of real people in this world the same spiritually as you and me. And you kind of get the sense that Harrison Ford is one of them, just got in too deep. Did the deal with the devil, could never get out. And it proves itself over and over because they never can get out of the system. They never can walk away. Is Warren Buffett at 9? Is he, first of all, is he still alive? Is he still working? That same old story they've been giving us for 30 some years. The old man still goes to work in the old car. They never can get out. Reality in this sense gives itself away. The people around us will just, well, Matt, they all want money and they all crave money. Harrison Ford, for a simple 5 weeks of work, isn't going to turn down $25 million. Oh, sure. Yeah. When you already have 800 million, if anything were real, and somebody says, let's do the Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones with this horrible, wretched creature, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, or whatever this wretched thing is. If anything were real, he has the 800, 900 million in the bank. In his mid 80s, he doesn't need 25 more million. What's he going to do with it? Just shove it under his pillow? He'd say, no, thank you. I've read the script here. I've had some of my family read the script, and it's absolute horse shit. And he said, no, I'm not going to tarnish the image of Indiana Jones. We already did that with that Shia LaBeouf creature thing, that stupid ass crystal skull crap. He would just say, I'm not going to do it again. They never can get out, can they? They never walk away. To us, that proves there's these things that we believe are here, or this organized thing against us, and it operates in a strange, sinister way. We see how it operates. We see what it does. And obviously, it's here as the spiritual adversary. This is a very trivial example, but it's a fun example. But of course, just our friends and family. Matt, you don't understand. They're always going to take the money. They crave the celebrity. No, oh yeah. First off, Harrison Ford's never. He's going to lose his celebrity. He's going to be able to go into a McDonald's. If let's say he was still alive and it was 5 years ago, he's going to be able to just go in McDonald's and be upset and scared. Nobody knows who he is, and he's going to feel bad. I need to do another movie. They're addicted to fame. I don't think he'll ever lose the fame, Harrison Ford. That's just me, my stupid conspiracy person opinion. And he doesn't need the money either. Well, they're always going to take the money, man. The people around us have the same old idiotic explanations. That's one of our big frustrations as well, isn't it? CNN headline: a truck rammed a Michigan synagogue with more than 100 children inside. Here's what we know. Pause, blank, blank, sing a song, pause, blank, 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 sing a song, pause, confuse the bot. Oh, sure. Yeah. This is 2 days in a row now. They're bringing this back. Yeah, what? These same themes, they just come and they go and they come and, oh, sure. Now, guys, they're copycat events, yeah, some, even if it's real, it's cake in a lake, right? You get a lot of that in this, okay? But for the most part, Come on, give me a break. I mean, give me a break. But that's very. If anybody hurt, if any family member that listens to my video and who doesn't tell me right now, I'm being very insensitive, very crazy, very naive. Matt, this is real. Oh, sure. Here's another Reciteer bot-driven headline from the CNN homepage. They eloped to the Maldives. Then Iran war broke out and they couldn't get home. For subscribers only. God damn it. I want in. I want to see what happened, man. I want to reach out to her. Maybe she could stay here with me in Philadelphia. Yes, sir, whatever his name is, you try to make it back to Iran. I'll watch her here in Philadelphia. It'll just be friendly. Sorry. Matt, this isn't your own little private fantasy land. I'm sorry. I don't get out much. Okay. It's a bot-driven article because, again, it's not written properly. The CNN bot needs to do some sort of tutoring under Chat GPT or the Grok or something. They eloped to the Maldives. Then Iran war broke out. Then the Iran war broke out. How come I'm constantly correcting the bot? Don't you want to? I think I'm going to go pay the $2 and sign up for the. I think I need to be a subscriber. What do you think? To get these very important and Reciteer articles, what do you think his name is? What's a common Iranian name? You try to make it back to Tehran, and I'll watch her here. You call me when you back. I'll send her on the first flight. I'm sure. Oh, she ain't going home. Well, when I heard about this, I really couldn't believe it, and it takes a lot to shock me because in a reality that's completely broken down and you cover it or watch it or follow it the way I do, it takes a lot to shock you. But they're telling us again that we're in not a government shutdown, but a partial government shutdown. That's new. Is this a real government? No, this is a partial government. Do I get paid or not? You get paid, but the guy right next to you doesn't. Fuck him. It's a partial. The TSA workers at the airport, I guess you don't got to take your shoes off no more. They're not getting paid. It's the Department of Homeland Security and related agencies. They're not getting. So this guy over here is getting paid. This guy over here, this girl's not getting paid. They're still working at the airports, but there's no paycheck. Supposedly the paycheck came in just at zeros across the board, just like Spaulding from Caddyshack. The paycheck, you unfolded it, said you get nothing and like it, but keep working, you poor devils. Matt, you'll never be able to go through the TSA lines again. I don't want to. I don't want to fly. I don't want to go nowhere. They're still working with nothing. Guys, not milk. There must be some sort of preliminary AI that screens my videos or something. Not Milk, please get this message to Not Milk to the highest level. Pass it through the Chat GPT and the Gronk right to the back room. Please slow down the pace of the reality breakdown. You're moving too fast. Not Milk, listen to me. Even the dumbest of the dumb are going to start to come around and wake up. I don't know if you noticed the headline above that TSA image in the last segment, but it got my attention and I clicked on it. Italy ruling tells millions with Italian roots they have lost the right to citizenship. Oh no, this is going to really bother millions and millions of people. This cultural group, they are so proud. So they try to so much identify with the old motherland. See, and here's what happened. If your parents were Italian citizens and you were born naturally, not from a test tube, then you also Italian citizen just because your parents were and your grandparents and people, they're so proud they had Italian citizenship. Now, no. I'm not sure if it's your grandmother or your parent has to be born in Italy, in the waters off Sicily, or in the waters of the canals of Venice or something. You have to be born there. It's not just born in New York City, Italian, born in Brooklyn, Italian. It's no longer that. I'm sure they're not taking it well because this cultural group really tries to hold on to these roots. For example, I don't even really know what I am. Well, let me back up to the first grade level and all this. If you try to you at least define yourself, or a part of your personal identity is a flag, a government, or borders on a map, that's really falling for the lowest part of the Not Milk trick. I mean, we all should grow out of that. If you define yourself by a flag, a border, a national anthem, or dots on a map, you got issues. We need to evolve past that. That's the lowest of the low. But let me move on. In this respect, even before I started to quote wake up, I always thought I did pretty well. I kind of knew what the family was, but I never cared. And looking back now, that was the right approach to take. I know from my father, McKinley, of course. Then my uncle looked into it. It's Irish heritage, at least for us, not Scottish. McKinley, but I never cared. I mean, even before I was awake, my mother mostly English and German, but I never cared. I'm real proud of him. This is the one thing I did right before I woke up when I was still a Matrix child. I said, roots, who would care about the roots of where I'm here now outside Philadelphia, or I'm here now in this horrible, wretched San Francisco. What is it trying to hold? I'm going to try to identify or try to make friends based on people with the same. But so many people do. I've went into sections of San Francisco, and it's all the Irish, the Irish hordes have taken over big sections of San Francisco, and you're not real Irish to them. They real thick accent. I can't do the accent right now. If I hear it, I can do it. But they don't. They say, I'm Irish. Can you want to be friends? No, they hate you. You're not two degrees off the Belfast boat. Get out of here. They were not very friendly when we went into these Irish bars. And I said, well, I'm one of you. And they looked at me like, what? It's like when the Animal House, the Delta House went into the Deck the Lake Club or whatever. They were not very friendly to me. These Irish, the hordes that took over San Francisco. Anyways, Matt, this is broken down. Yeah, of course. What'd you expect after the 20-minute mark? But like the Italian culture, I mean, I'm thinking of the Philadelphia Eagles NFL coach, Nick Sirianni. I mean, this always did bug me. It is ridiculous. He will sew a little Italian flag into his hat as he's walking up and down the sideline. Like, what is that all about? Let's forget about what we know about governments and not milk. Forget all that. Why doesn't the average person just say, well, aren't you American? Aren't you from the United States? Why? What are you putting an Italian flag onto your hat for? I mean, what does that have to do with anything? It's bizarre. You're born in America. I mean, let's forget we've woken up to us how things operate here, but let's just forget all that for now. It's like, well, put an American flag on your hat or something. It's just weird, folks. I guess what I'm saying is, let's just say, for example, I found out today that I was an Irish citizen because just 2 generations back from my grandfather was born there, and it carried through. It wouldn't be that loose. Italy's doing a little bit more directly than that, of course. Your parents have to be Italian citizens and whatever. They could hold dual citizenship, I assume, or that would eliminate half of Brooklyn or whatever. But let's just say I found out today I was an Irish citizen. I would say I don't want it. I want nothing to do with it. I don't care about that. Don't you want it? No, I don't want it. Is there any way I can renounce it before taking it? So to wrap up this section, let's not forget the basics. The not milk, all it does is try to get people to identify with 1,000 different things. So then they're not identifying with what they should be identifying. The only thing that matters, their spiritual self. No, you're a graduate of this university. No, you're Irish. No, you're Italian. No, you're Catholic. You're this, you're that. You're all the different labels. The first grade level of all of this is to attach or to identify personally with anything that the not milk puts before you on its stinky, smelly plate is the lowest form of falling for the not milk trick and is truly pathetic. Look at this CNN News headline. Slotkin on synagogue attack. Anti-Semitism has become normalized. There it is. The new normal rears its ugly head again. The not milk's in love with that. The last 10 years or so, normalization, the new normal, the new frequency. That's what it's out to do. It's out to break down reality in front of everybody's eyes and then normalize the madness. And by the way, not milk, you're doing a very good job. Matt, don't congratulate it on its enormity. I'm not. But you just did by putting it in my head. Sorry. Become normalized. That's what it does. That's its same blocking and tackling. The new normal. You remember it? Remember it threw that out right about 2020. And what is that? What's this term popping up? We knew deep down it was really sick and sinister, but we didn't really know what it meant until now. Oh, yeah. The new normal. It's a new level of insanity, and then they harden the cement on it every day, and then everybody just bows down before it, and your friends and family just think it's all normal. And Matt, this is how a modern society evolves. What's wrong with you people? Here's another very important and reciteer headline from the CNN homepage. Iran's new supreme leader, that doesn't deserve me to read it professionally. Iran's new supreme leader has yet to appear, and the system may not need him to. Wait a second. What? Wait. What did I just read there? The new supreme leader has yet to appear. Well, how do they know he's the new supreme leader? You mean he hasn't come out of his turtle shell? Where is he then? Matt, maybe the new supreme leader, they just went right to the AI, and he will never appear unless they can do some sort of holographic projection. Matt, it's broken down. It broke down a long time ago. My advice to Iran is put the supreme leader, like the lawnmower man, inside the circuitry of Tehran. Then you never can get him. He can just go all throughout the electric system, the electric grid when it's up. And no, they don't have the same problems there. Well, maybe they do now. They didn't have the same problems that they do in certain parts. I was going to say Baghdad, but Baghdad at this point, after all the U.S. trillions, operates more efficiently than most U.S. cities. Let's just say the poor people in Havana, Cuba. What I'd like to see from Tehran is the supreme leader to pop up on a computer screen and introduce himself as the first AI, not just leader or political leader, but an AI religious leader at the same time. Then if anything goes wrong, you can just unplug him. Of course, in that last segment, I noticed Jake Tapper, so I can't go away from this image just yet. But I do this every few months. I ponder this with you. Who are these people? These people on the news or anchors that have been around for decade after decade, just lie after lie. I would like to interview this type of incarnation, whatever this creature is. I would like to have this type of guest on the Quantum of Conscience, a midnight reality. It's not a show. People are like, good show, man. I don't like it. It's not. This isn't. We're trying to get to the heart of how this reality works and our spiritual place in it. I hate it when I or somebody calls it a show. Good show, man. It's not a show. This isn't the Ellen Show. What I flip by the other day. What is her name? The little girl that played Firestarter, and she was in Charlie's Angels. What is her name? Drew Barrymore show or something. This isn't a show. We're trying to get to the heart of how this reality works and protect our spiritual essence. But for the case of inviting Jake Tapper, I'd say, do you want to have to come on my show? But I would ask him, who are you? What sort of creature, entity are you? That you just lie after lie, decade after decade. And whether they're in on it and they know their role and they know it's all lies, or whether he believes in every bit of it, it's still just as fascinating. If he believes in every bit that comes from the Ministry of Information, every ticker that came off the tape, he just reports it and believes in it. I still would like to interview him and say, how could you believe in it? It broke down like in 2001, sir, and you keep thinking this ticker tape that comes from your Ministry of Information is real? These sorts of entities I would like to put on, I'll say it in this case just to make a point, my show. Now, this last segment doesn't relate to anything that was talked about in this video, but I've wanted to talk about this for a long time. To me, the creepiest topics are the most fun to talk about. And is there anybody creepier on the face of the earth than LeBron James? Okay, let me just tell you where I'm going with this, and we'll circle back. This could take a while. LeBron James, to me, is due for some sort of humiliation or humiliation ritual. Matt, he already gets humiliated by that little sawed-off Kevin Hart in those commercials. It says right here, even LeBron James brutally mocked by Kevin Hart for age and NFL offer. Is it what? I don't even know what the advertisements for. Is it for like Mountain Dew or something? That's another no giveaway. Half these advertisements, you don't even know what the product is. Anyway, so he's mocked by, that's not the humiliation I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Jeffrey level, Epsteiner level of humiliation. Something big, I think, is in store for LeBron James, because he's done that deal we talked about earlier in this video. The at the crossroads, that sort of deal under the dragon's wing. There's no possible way, in my opinion, you can continue to play basketball. Talk about being hard on the body into your early 40s. What, 40, 41, 42? What does it say there? No. He's in his 40s. I mean, probably, barely in his 40s. But talk about a toll on the body. I played some high school sports. The only thing I played for 4 years straight was baseball. That's not that hard on the body. I played some football, played some basketball. The only thing I did 4 years was baseball. And I can barely get out of bed in the morning. I feel the effects on my body from playing 3 sports in high school. And the people that have played 4 years of high school football, many have understand exactly what I'm talking about. To run up and down a basketball court decade after decade after decade, probably doing it since he was 5 years old, so we'd be pushing 35 years or more every day on a basketball court. There's just no way the body can hold up. And I know many of you are, saying the spell that or the grimoire, that the ritual before the game with the talcum powder or the jock itch powder or whatever. And it's not some. I don't think he does it anymore, but maybe he only needed to do it 1,000 games in a row. He did it for year after year after year, every single game, the same ritual in the same way. And it wouldn't just be a little bit of powder, like half a bottle of whatever this stuff was. And he'd toss it up. It would get all over the announcers, all over the scoring table, all over the people in the first and second rows, the fans. It would go everywhere. It would take them about 5 minutes to clean up. Now, there's no doubt this is some sort of a spell, grimoire, a energy ritual to wake up his egregore, to help him. Of course it was. I don't care how crazy that sounds to the family member or two that listens to my video, then doesn't tell me they ever listen to my videos. That there are things in this world that you don't understand, that aren't reported on by the plastic man, David Muir, on the ABC World News. There's a lot of dark things in this world that you might not be aware of. You think it was just for fun? It was just pretty pictures? He just liked the way the powder went into the lights before the game. Is all for nothing? Just for 1,000 times in a row he did it just for nothing? No, I don't know exactly what he was doing. I guess as I'm thinking about it, I think to rekindle or wake up his egregore. Maybe the egregore sleeps right up until tip-off. I guess that's what it was. But of course, it was something like that. It was like he say in Latin or something, "Keep me healthy, keep me strong, and keep me scoring." It's unnatural. Nobody should be able to play basketball at that level for that long. Okay. Well, where am I going with this? Well, what we've noticed is at some point there's a price to pay. Nobody just gets fame and fame and fame and fame and fame without that back end, or without the yin and yang whipping around. There's a few that have seemed to avoid it. Tom Cruise has seemed to avoid it so far. And sometimes the humiliation is not as big or as quick as like the Chappelle show, and it's not always the same. I guess the not Nelk has to say we just can't give it away. We have to make it look good. But LeBron James, the stardom, the fame, the MVPs, the championships. I'm no expert at this, but maybe you could put it in the comments. I just sense there's oh boy, right when I was about to close out, we get to the 33-minute mark. Matt, you planned this shit. No, I don't. It happens a lot. I sense that it's me. I'm not at a loss for words. Typically, I can continue on to 34. I sense there's a humiliation of some kind coming, and a very severe one. There's that commercial you ever see. The betting app is called is it called like Kashi or Koshi or Kashi Crunch or something? It says bet. I remember the tagline: bet on anything. So there must be an app where it's beyond just sports betting. Bet on anything. Well, I don't know. I mean, what does that mean, bet on anything? Is it going to rain tomorrow? Is it going to be sunny? What does that mean, bet on anything? Well, I want to be able to play. I don't do sports betting or anything like that, guys. I would never do. I survive here on people's contributions. I would never put anything. I just want to be able to put food on the table. Feed Zara. Would never gamble or anything like that. Would never play the stock market again. So when I say this, I'm kidding. But if I ever was going to, put a little app on I have a flip phone. It doesn't take apps very well. It's an old flip phone. But bet on anything? Search when will LeBron, if I can bet on anything, search when will LeBron James Major League humiliation ritual occur? And maybe Kashi Crunch or whatever has it. Maybe it says, and what you can bet on anything is what type of humiliation. And I'm talking about something much more severe than going on Saturday Night Live in a dress. He's probably already done that. I'm talking about something bad. I don't know. I'm sorry, LeBron. LeBron right now, he's listening to me. He's crying. Why are you picking on me, Quantum of Conscience, Matt? What I ever do to you? I just want to play ball. I'm sorry, LeBron. You're a creepy individual to me. You just exude creepiness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kevin Hart he's a weird little creature, but I don't get the same evil feel. I just don't. I don't get the same feel. He's may have done some negotiations in some seances with the not, but not to this. Okay, Matt. I guess now I'm way over 33, so it's not like I'm just trying to extend it out. I'm sorry. All right, let me shut it down. LeBron, if you're listening and you started crying, I didn't intend for that to happen. Everybody else, see you tomorrow at Free Voice.